The story of Emily and Noah, a love beyond time. Chapter 1, a serendipitous encounter. It was a chilly November afternoon when Emily first met Noah. She was 28, a vibrant woman with a passion for art, working at a small gallery in downtown New York. Her days were filled with the vibrant colors of life, but deep inside, she carried the weight of loneliness. Noah, a 32-year-old architect with a penchant for history, was visiting the gallery on a whim, seeking inspiration for a project. The moment their eyes met, something shifted in the universe. Emily was curating an exhibit. When Noah walked in, his eyes immediately drawn to a painting she had just finished hanging. It was a piece that spoke of longing, a single red rose against a backdrop of a stormy sea. As Noah approached the painting, Emily noticed his intense gaze and the way he seemed lost in the piece. She hesitated for a moment before approaching him. "You seem taken by this one," she said, her voice soft but filled with curiosity. Noah turned to her, his dark eyes meeting hers. "It's beautiful. There's something about it. It feels like the storm is both an ending and a beginning." Emily smiled, a bit surprised by his insight. "That's exactly what I was thinking when I chose it." They began talking about the painting, and soon their conversation flowed like they had known each other for years. They talked about art, architecture, their dreams, and the small things in life that brought them joy. By the time the gallery closed, they had exchanged numbers, both feeling a connection that was too strong to ignore. Chapter 2, the blossoming of love. Over the next few weeks, Emily and Noah's relationship blossomed. They spent hours on the phone, talking late into the night. Their first date was at a small Italian restaurant tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. Noah picked her up at 7 p.m., and when she opened the door, he was standing there with a single red rose, just like the one in the painting. "Is this because of the painting?" Emily asked with a playful smile. Noah grinned. "I thought it was fitting." That night was magical. They talked, laughed, and shared stories of their pasts. Noah told Emily about his childhood in a small town upstate, his love for old buildings, and how he became an architect. Emily shared her journey of becoming an artist, how she found solace in painting after losing her mother at a young age. They discovered they both loved the same old movies, including Casablanca and Roman Holiday. As the night went on, they moved closer, and when Noah walked her home, they paused outside her door. The air was cold, but neither wanted to say goodbye. Noah took her hand, his thumb gently stroking her knuckles, and leaned in slowly, giving her plenty of time to pull away if she wanted. He didn't. Their lips met in a soft, lingering kiss, and in that moment, everything felt right. Chapter 3, Building a Life Together. As months passed, Emily and Noah's bond deepened. They became inseparable, sharing their lives in every possible way. Noah introduced Emily to his love of architecture by taking her on weekend trips to visit historic buildings. They spent one particularly memorable weekend in Charleston, exploring old plantations and wandering through the charming streets filled with Southern history. On one of these trips, they visited a lighthouse by the coast. Standing at the top, looking out over the endless ocean, Noah turned to Emily and said, "I want to build a life with you, one that's filled with love, laughter, and memories as beautiful as this view." Emily's heart swelled with emotion. "I want that too, Noah, more than anything." Their life together was a series of beautiful moments. For Emily's 29th birthday, Noah surprised her with a studio space he had rented just for her. It was a cozy sunlit room with large windows overlooking a park, the perfect place for her to create. Emily was overwhelmed with joy and kissed him deeply, whispering, "I love you," against his lips. On their first Valentine's Day together, Noah planned a surprise that took weeks of preparation. He had found a small abandoned chapel in the countryside where they spent the day painting the walls together. They chose bright, vibrant colors that reflected their personalities. Emily's side was filled with warm oranges, pinks, and yellows, while Noah's side was cool blues and greens. By the end of the day, they were both covered in paint, laughing and kissing under the twilight sky. Chapter 4: The Proposal. 1 year after they met, Noah knew he wanted to spend the rest of his life with Emily. He planned the perfect proposal, wanting it to be as special as the love they shared. He remembered how much Emily loved lighthouses, so he arranged for them to visit the same lighthouse where they had once dreamed of a future together. On the day of the proposal, they climbed to the top of the lighthouse. The wind was strong and the sea below was rough, but the sky was clear and the sunset painted the horizon in shades of pink and gold. Emily stood at the edge, looking out at the ocean, when Noah came up behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. "You know, this place has always felt magical to me," Noah whispered in her ear. Emily smiled and leaned back into him. "It's where we first talked about our future." Noah slowly turned her around to face him. His heart pounded as he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Emily's eyes widened in surprise as he got down on one knee. "Emily, from the moment I met you, I knew my life had changed forever. You brought so much joy, love, and color into my world. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, building a future as beautiful as this moment. Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she looked at the man she loved more than anything in the world. Without hesitation, she nodded, her voice choked with emotion. "Yes, Noah, yes." He slipped a ring onto her finger, a simple, elegant band with a sparkling diamond. They kissed as the sun dipped below the horizon, sealing their promise to each other. Chapter 5: the dark cloud. Emily and Noah's engagement was a blissful time, filled with wedding planning, parties, and dreams of their future together. But life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect it. A few months after the proposal, Emily began feeling unwell. She was tired all the time, often feeling dizzy and nauseous. At first, they both thought it was stress from planning the wedding. But when the symptoms persisted, Noah insisted she see a doctor. They went to the hospital together, holding hands as they waited for the results. When the doctor came in with a serious expression, Emily's heart sank. She knew something was wrong, but she wasn't prepared for what she was about to hear. "Emily, I'm afraid we found a mass in your lungs. We need to run more tests, but it could be cancer," the doctor said gently. The room seemed to close in around them. Noah squeezed Emily's hand, his face pale and filled with fear. Emily felt like she was in a nightmare, the words echoing in her mind. Cancer. How could this be happening? They had so much planned, so much life to live. The next few weeks were a blur of tests, appointments, and waiting. When the diagnosis came back, it was devastating. Emily had stage 3 lung cancer. The doctor explained the treatment options, but the prognosis was grim. Even with aggressive treatment, there was no guarantee she would survive. Emily and Noah were shattered. They spent nights holding each other, crying and talking about the future they might never have. But despite the fear and uncertainty, Noah remained by Emily's side, his love for her unwavering. Chapter 6, Fighting for Time. Emily decided to fight the cancer with everything she had. She underwent chemotherapy and radiation, enduring the pain, nausea, and weakness that came with it. Noah was with her every step of the way, taking time off work to care for her, holding her hand during treatments, and making sure she never felt alone. Their love grew even stronger during this difficult time. They cherished every moment together, knowing that time was precious. On days when Emily felt well enough, Noah would take her out on small adventures, picnics in the park, boat rides on the lake, or simply walking hand in hand through the city at night under the stars. For Emily's 30th birthday, Noah planned something special. He knew how much she missed painting, so he set up a canvas and paints in their living room, filling the space with flowers and candles. Emily was too weak to stand for long, so Noah helped her sit in front of the canvas, and together they created a beautiful painting. A vibrant abstract piece that symbolized their love and the life they had built together. As the months passed, there were moments of hope and despair. Some days it seemed like the treatment was working, other days the cancer seemed to be winning. But through it all, Noah and Emily never gave up on each other. They continued to plan their wedding, even as Emily's health declined. Chapter 7, The Wedding Day. Emily's condition worsened as the wedding day approached. She was weak, often bedridden, but she refused to postpone the wedding. She wanted to marry Noah, to be his wife, even if it was just for a short time. With the help of friends and family, they planned a beautiful, intimate ceremony in their favorite place, the lighthouse where Noah had proposed. The day of the wedding arrived, bathed in soft sunlight. Emily, though frail, was determined to walk down the aisle. She wore a simple yet elegant white dress that Noah had chosen for her, knowing her taste better than anyone. Her father, a man who had always been her pillar of strength, helped her down the aisle, tears glistening in his eyes as he saw the love and determination in his daughter's face. Noah stood at the altar, waiting for her, his heart aching with a mix of joy and sorrow. When Emily reached him, he took her hands and is kissing them gently. The ceremony was short but filled with emotion. They exchanged vows, promising to love each other, in sickness and in health, for better or worse, for as long as they both lived. As they said their I do, there wasn't a dry eye in the small crowd of loved ones gathered around them. Noah gently kissed Emily, and they both felt the world fade away, leaving only the two of them. After the ceremony, they danced slowly to their favorite song, At Last, by Etta James, under the fading light of the day. Emily leaned into Noah, her head resting on his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. "I love you, Noah," she whispered. "I love you more than anything, Emily," Noah replied, his voice cracking with emotion. Chapter 8, A Glimmer of Hope. A few weeks after the wedding, Emily and Noah received unexpected news. Emily was pregnant. It was a miracle, especially given her weakened condition. The news brought a mixture of joy and fear. They had wanted children, but had resigned themselves to the idea that it might not be possible. Now, with this new life growing inside her, they felt a renewed sense of hope. Despite the doctor's concerns, Emily was determined to carry the baby to term. Noah was overjoyed at the thought of becoming a father. He spent hours talking to Emily's belly, reading stories to their unborn child, and imagining the future they might have together. He even painted the nursery walls with soft, calming colors, preparing a space for their little one. Chapter 9, The Birth of Joy. 9 months later, after a challenging pregnancy, Emily gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. They named her Lily. The birth of Lily brought overwhelming joy to both Emily and Noah. For a time, the world seemed brighter. Emily, though still battling cancer, found renewed strength in motherhood. She spent her days holding Lily, singing to her, and watching as Noah cared for their daughter. Every milestone Lily reached became a celebration. Her first smile, her first laugh, the way she grasped Noah's finger with her tiny hand. These moments became the heartbeats of their lives. Chapter 10, The Final Day. As Lily approached her first birthday, Emily's health began to decline rapidly. The cancer had spread. Emily knew her time was running out. They celebrated Lily's first birthday with a small party at home. That night, after everyone had left, Noah held Emily close in bed. "I wish we had more time," Emily whispered. Noah kissed her forehead, tears falling down his face. "I'll make sure Lily knows how much you loved her. Promise me you'll tell her our story," Emily whispered. "I promise," Noah said. Emily closed her eyes, feeling peace wash over her. Holding Noah's hand, she took one final breath and slipped away quietly. Chapter 11, A Legacy of Love. After Emily's passing, Noah was left with a void that seemed impossible to fill. But he had Lily, and for her, he stayed strong. He told Lily stories about her mother, about the love they had shared, and the life they built together. He often took her to the lighthouse, the place where he had proposed to Emily. There, sitting by the ocean, he would whisper, "Your mother loved you more than anything in the world." Chapter 12, Moving Forward, Never Forgetting. Years passed, and Lily grew into a remarkable young woman, full of life and creativity, much like her mother. She inherited Emily's love for art and Noah's passion for history and architecture. One day, when Lily was 16, she discovered an old journal that belonged to her mother. Inside were letters Emily had written to her, filled with love, advice, and dreams for Lily's future. As Lily read them, tears streamed down her face, but she felt a deep connection to the mother she barely knew. On the day of her high school graduation, Noah gave Lily a necklace that had belonged to Emily. A delicate chain with a small pendant shaped like a rose. "Your mother wanted you to have this when you graduated," Noah said, his voice filled with pride. "She believed in you, Lily. She knew you would do amazing things."